You might not get to see it during the webcast. Included in this launch will be the use of our own Rocket Lab designed satellite separation system. This is the mechanism that keeps Capella's satellite attached to Electron on the way to space, and which releases Acadia-3 once it's in its target orbit. A huge shout out to our team in Silver Spring, Maryland. They've provided their motorized light bands, advanced light bands, and canisterized satellite deployers to deliver over 1,000 satellites into space with 100% success.
We're now at T-minus 5 minutes and 8 seconds until liftoff. Operations are continuing smoothly, and there's no red flags across any of the stations. Now, today's mission is headed on a southeastern trajectory with the rocket due to fly out over the South Pacific, skirting past Chatham Island before passing north of Antarctica and out towards South America. Now, the rocket on the pad for Capella is Electron, our launch vehicle dedicated for small satellites. It's an 18-metre tall, two-stage to orbit rocket made of carbon composite throughout, including its tanks and structures. Today, though, Electron is a little bit taller than typical 18 metres, and that's because we've built an extended fairing especially for this mission that accommodates the height of Capella's payload inside. Now, the white bands you see on the rocket are where liquid oxygen is being stored inside the tanks. The liquid oxygen is stored at minus 173 degrees Celsius, and the cold temperatures of that propellant causes any moisture on the outside to freeze, which is why you're seeing those white bands on stage 1 and stage 2.
At the bottom of that first stage are 9 Rutherford engines, each of them 3D printed and powered by batteries. With individual capability of up to 5,600 pounds of thrust force at sea level, combined, the 9 engines produce about 50,400 pounds of thrust force to achieve liftoff. On the second stage is a single space-optimized Rutherford engine that powers the mission the rest of the way to orbit. Our propellant combination for our Rutherford engines include the liquid oxygen James just mentioned before, mixed with rocket-grade kerosene used across both the first stage and second stage engines.
We're very proud of our Electron rocket, having launched for the 50th time just a few weeks back, making Electron the fastest commercially built rocket to launch 50 times. It's a huge achievement for the entire Rocket Lab team, and it was such a thrill to be able to experience it with everybody last month. Righto, glancing at the countdown clock, it is T-minus 3 minutes on the dot, and we're kicking into full gear. Shortly at T-minus 2 minutes, Electron's flight computer will take over the rest of the countdown autonomously. Liquid oxygen will continue to be loaded to Electron all the way up until T-minus 1 minute and 30 seconds, and that's when we should hear the call from Mission Control that the LOX system is in recirculation, meaning that propellant loading is complete. Shortly after that, Mission Control should call out that Electron's first and second stages are fully pressurized and ready for launch, and then it's through to T-minus 10 seconds and the countdown to liftoff by our launch director. So we'll hand it over now to Mission Control and listen in.
The vehicle is fully on internal power. AFGS is green and enabled for flight.
LOX load is complete. System is in recirculation.
Stage 1 and 2 tanks are pressed for flight.
High flow engine purge enabled. T-minus 20 seconds and counting. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff.
Beginning picture.
Electron has left the pad at Rocket Lab Launch Complex 1 and is soaring sky high on its mission for Capella. The first milestone the rocket will pass through is max Q, or maximum aerodynamic pressure, the crossover point between dynamic pressure increasing with speed and static pressure decreasing with altitude. It causes the most amount of physical stress on the vehicle, so it's one our team watches out for. That call out should be coming from Mission Control shortly, so let's listen in.
Cleared max Q.
And Electron has cleared max Q. The rocket is performing nominally so far, now up to 2,100 kilometers. Occurring next will be 3 events across the main engine coverage. A few seconds later, the third event happens, which is ignition of the second stage's Rutherford engine to carry on with the mission. You'll be able to see those 3 events happen in real time from the onboard camera streams, and those callouts should be coming from Mission Control shortly.
MECO confirmed.
Stage separation confirmed.
At stage 2 ignition confirmed.
Stage hour, now just about to pass 100 kilometers above Earth. There should be no blockers for the next milestone, which is fairing jettison, and that's when Electron's nose cone separates and falls away in preparation for the end of the mission. We might see those 2 halves falling away on the screen as well, so let's keep an eye out for that.
Guidance is nominal.
HV battery discharge, holding nominal.
Introduce the Capella payload to space. The mission is now past 150 kilometers in altitude as we make our way to today's orbit, with the Rutherford engine powering
At 4 minutes and 30 the second stage, currently expected to take place at the T plus 6 minute 30 mark. Meanwhile, Electron continues to perform nominally on its way to orbit.